The Lakers are off to a bad start, and not much is going to change if they don't address this very important weakness. And it's not the one you're probably thinking about. Watching the first two games, seeing them miss shot after shot, you're probably thinking the most important thing they need to fix is their shooting. They need to bring in some shooters. Now, I agree, they need to improve their shooting, but that's not their biggest issue. Their biggest issue is their lack of size, particularly in the perimeter. They have way too many undersized guards. They need to bring in some size, or else their season is doomed. Now, as frustrating as it is to watch the Lakers miss shot after shot, the looks they were getting were actually pretty good. They shot around 20% from three the first two games. That is historically bad. So bad that it can only go up from here. Most of the Lakers are shooting around the mid-30s for over their career. So based on the law of averages, these shots eventually have to fall. The Lakers are projected to shoot around 35% from three this season. Now that's not good, and it's going to be lower than the NBA average. But the Lakers actually won a championship a couple years ago, shooting only 35% from three. And they won quite convincingly. Why? Because of their defense. Defense wins championships. As long as you're good on defense, you're going to be competitive in games, despite your offense. The Lakers were so dominant during that 2020 championship run because defensively, they were very versatile. They could switch almost everything. They could defend any offense. They played big against Jokic and the Nuggets. They played small against the Rockets. They had the size and versatility to do so. But now that's all gone. They don't have those switchy wings anymore. All they have are AD, LeBron, and a bunch of point guards. That's not going to get it done. Darvin Ham is forced to play 3, sometimes even 4 guard lineups because that's all they have. Frank Vogel did the same thing last season, and he got fired. It was never about the coaching. It's about the poor roster construction. We saw time after time, every time they switch, it's a mismatch. Against the Clippers, they had 6'1" Patrick Beverley guarding 6'9" Paul George, and 6'3" Westbrook guarding Kawhi Leonard. And they actually held their own for a few possessions. But most of the time, players like that are just going to shoot over them or outmuscle them. And a lot of times, that's what happened. Whether it was Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, Marcus Morris, even John Wall, another point guard, was just pulling up because he had a smaller player on him. The average height in the NBA is around 6'6". That means most players you encounter are going to be wing-sized players. So if you're playing 3 or 4 guards, all under 6'5", then you're automatically at a disadvantage. Pretty much every matchup is a mismatch. And that's just talking about the average players. We're not even talking about the Kevin Durants, the Giannis's, the Jason Tatums. Those players who will absolutely punish you for putting someone that small on them. And granted, you probably start off with either LeBron or AD on those players, but once they get the switch, it's game over. And this lack of size also leads to them getting out-rebounded. If you're missing shots to begin with, and now you're too undersized to get second chance opportunities, that's going to lead to a bad night. But if you're also giving up second chance opportunities on the other end, that's going to lead to a domino effect and a lot of blowouts like we saw last season. Now, ideally, you would fix both the shooting and the defense, usually in the form of a 3-and-D player. Unfortunately, the Lakers can't afford a 3-and-D player. They're capped out because of Westbrook's contract, so they can only pay veteran minimum contracts. You're not gonna find a 3-and-D player on a vet minimum. You can only get a 3 or a D player. Now, the Lakers are rumored to be interested in Mo Harkless. He has that good size, the length, and is the type of player the Lakers need more of. Not a great three-point shooter, but good enough that the defense can't just ignore him. Now, this won't solve all their issues and make them a contender, but it's a step in the right direction. Now, what would fix most, if not all their issues, is a Russell Westbrook trade. With that salary, they should be able to get multiple players. Hopefully, multiple 3-and-D wings with good size. Then they would be able to switch everything and not be at a height disadvantage at every matchup. A trade with the Spurs that would land them Josh Richardson and Doug McDermott is a good option that has been rumored. Another is a trade with the Hornets will land them Gordon Hayward and Kelly Oubre. This roster as currently constructed just doesn't make sense. Having that many guards, having that many undersized guards doesn't make sense. Having Russell Westbrook doesn't make sense. He doesn't fit, he doesn't contribute anything positive to the team. It's clear that he doesn't want to be here. The fans don't want him here. I'm pretty sure his teammates don't want him here. It's an awkward situation for everybody. And until the Lakers make some changes to the roster, this is going to be a very frustrating season for everyone involved.